Okay.
And did you
All
get
right.
that recorded?
No, I didn't actually. I was messing with the propping up of it. So you don't have to worry about that having gone public. Yeah. So it's by Curtis Sittenfeld, and Emma was saying how she's read some of her books. Everybody know who Curtis Sittenfeld is? Wrote Prep, and she's a recent book out too, and I can't think of the name of it. She's read like 3 now, I think. I can't look anything up because I'm videotaping. But, so she was a local author, but now she lives somewhere else, North Carolina, somewhere else. And Prep is non-fiction-y.
It was fiction, but was it?
I don't remember.
I think it was fiction, but it sounded
Yeah. Yeah, same. That's what we were just saying. It was a national cathedral school. Yeah, same thing. Right? So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she taught there. So, all right. So, what were our gut reactions to the other than Kathy's, which we did not catch on tape? Gut reactions to gender studies.
Loved it.
Loved it. Why?
Yeah. Well, it was funny. It was a nice reversal. I mean, the content just matched the tone so well, and it sort of was it seemed like a play off the old campus novel trope, but she's off campus, which is like another nice little reversal. And the character is just so dislikable. Like the instead of an unreliable narrator, just a really deeply troublingly likable narrator or protagonist, but who is yet so understandable, and it's very easy to have compassion for. There's just so many funny lines. I mean, I love it when somebody can take something that's so serious, and she was just playing. It felt like very playful in a way, and about the whole like academic culture, like this women in women's studies professor deal is just so wrought and fraught, and she just captured that amazingly.
Awesome. So Catherine's a fan. Anybody have other opinions?
So I just read it. I will admit I had a bad week. I didn't read it till today.
Yeah.
But there are so many great lines. Like I love when she's remembering her courtship with her ex, and she says something like, she could tell that he was trying to seem smart to her in exactly the way that she was trying to seem smart to him. Like, just brilliant. I love it. It's funny.
Or
and
the way
it's real and
the way they're trying to be people that they're not really capable of being. Yeah.
Love it. And it just makes them insufferable. And she knows that.
Yeah.
Knows that they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
That little part where she talks about, I thought this was like just really very clever, where she's with the shuttle driver and he says, best ribs in town are at Winslow's. You're not a vegetarian, are you? And then that allows her to then go and talk about, well, we were vegetarians, and it's just so well done the way it kind of flips. And then when she wants to come back, she says to the driver, she says, I'm not a vegetarian. So she does this amazingly skillful job of like setting this up. She flips back and tells you all of this stuff it's a great little piece about he was eating steak and she didn't know, and so was he. I mean, and then flips it back. I mean, it's very. It just struck me as really skillful the way it was done.
Sure. And then it ends up being very much about relationships and the way men and women encounter each other, and it's got that nice duality of her being a gender study professor, and it's called gender studies, and and is she actually like doing this stuff, or is she just researching? And I mean, I don't know. I would call her unreliable. I mean, I would call her a bit unreliable.
She admits to being a liar. She calls herself a liar like 3 times.
Right, and that gets into
now she is lying.
Right. I mean, that gets into the liar's paradox, where if I say to you, everything I'm telling you is a lie. Right.
Yeah.
So now we don't know what we can believe.
She's a person who lives too much in her mind, so she has really no idea about the real world. So she's this very fastidious and pretentious person, and who's had a very boring marriage with a boring man, and still they think that we are very cool because we are like, we are vegetarians, or we don't eat meat, and we read books in the evening, and so I think her whole marriage has also been a sham.
No, for
And
sure.
when it finally breaks, is a part of her which she cannot really admit to herself, wants to get laid, but still she goes on pretending, even there she allows that man to walk her to her room, thinking that it is a kind of quid pro quo for the license. And then, I don't
Why
know.
would that be?
No,
Why
because-
would that be,
because-
right?
Because in between she said that you give me my license, and then he says that I don't have the license, and
Right.
then she tell him to
Right.
get out.
Yes.
So she is an extremely pretentious woman, and even as she is kind of admitting to certain parts of herself, parts which are spontaneous or wild, she cannot really embrace them.
Yeah.
Well, she said, like.
We're still talking, Sarah, we're still talking about gender studies.
Okay. I actually disagree with Catherine that she's so unlikable. And here's why, because she says.
Oh, fist fight!
It's because she says, that's subtle, she says to the guy. Does he know what subtle means? It's not that she's unaware that she's an elitist asshole. She's aware, she's just powerless not to be one. That's why I like her, because she gets it, but she can't. She gets it.
Yeah, she
That's
gets
why I
that
like
she's
her.
stuck in it. I'm really glad you said that, because I like her too. And I was feeling bad.
To be clear, I like her as a character, I just don't think I like her as a person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure I wouldn't
That
like her
made
as
me
a person.
Okay.
Yeah, it totally works for the piece, and it's hilarious,
Yeah.
it's hilarious for that self-knowledge, but like, as she said, she still is an ass.
Yeah, she's nice, yeah.
Can you pass this down to Sarah? Yeah, so, and there should be another copy of the prompt floating around down there too.
It's just so true. It's just full of truisms,
Yes.
right? Like they're free range beef and nights and weekends, reading and grading and high quality television series. It was fun and a little horrible. Like I get that. I get what that means. This is like speaking so closely.
I thought the whole thing with the license was really good too. So, like, I mean, that's like, so what is your license? Your license is your identity. I mean, that's, so she loses her license so she can become this person that, she's not, or that, that she's not. So she loses her license and she changes it, and then she kind of finds the license and she goes back, she reverts back to this person that she was before. And so that was a really neat kind of,
And even on the superficial front of like, how am I gonna get on the plane tomorrow?
yeah.
Like, oh no, this is bad.
I like losing the license gave her the license.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So.
And it had fallen into the slit in her jacket.
She has to
Do people
have
find that
excuses
credible?
to have fun. She cannot just let her hair down. So she has to have a reason.
I was kind of sad about him, like, kind of a sad character. I felt she took advantage of him. I'm sorry, I felt sorry.
He was kind of an ass, but she totally took advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's
so
okay.
cute.
Yeah, I think women should take advantage.
Okay.
Well, that's okay. We'll let Peter weigh in on that later. No, I think it would have been more credible if we'd gotten some hint of the jacket being old early, or threadbare or something, And I think if she asked, was it credible that the license fell into the lining of the jacket, and I think it's totally credible that something like that could happen. But I think that the reason that you might question it is because they didn't do the Chekhov's rifle thing and introduce it earlier, so that we expect it later, like, oh, there's this hole in this pocket, my pen keeps poking through
Yeah,
it or
that's
whatever.
me too. Definitely.
Yeah, it wasn't set up properly. It probably got cut when she was cutting the words. Any other comments on gender studies? Nice use of theme, nice layering, nice tension, nice humor.
Where does she teach that she can buy $300 pairs of shoes?
Well, she doesn't have kids. I don't know. She got a job back when they were still paying fashion. I don't know.
When was that?
Maybe
There's
she's from a rich family.
yeah, because wasn't he a physics professor or something too? No, your husband's a
Poli
physics
sci.
Poli sci. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But okay, we're good. Yeah? Yeah, awesome. Welcome, Sarah.
Where did that appear? It was published.
New Yorker, I think. Yeah, because the new book was coming out. But she just had a new book. So I'm telling you, that's how those things go wrong. Yeah, I didn't read what she wrote. I'm always yelling at you guys for not doing that. Maybe I did and I just forgot. Because that was
Before you came in, I said it was the first week I read it because you always read it.
does it?
She didn't say there.
It doesn't say much. Oh no, I do remember this because she wrote it before the election. Yeah, I remember this now. So that's how she ended up having it. The Trump thing took on a new meaning.
The election
Because
piece
of
is
the-
almost kind of distracting.
I think she felt like she had to say something about it.
It just, I don't know, because we all have these visceral reactions now to anything.
But given that
Given that
she
you
wrote
know.
it before though, and given that it was gender studies and she wrote it before the election,
Yeah.
Yeah, I am curious how that election is going to be treated in the next 10 years, because it's something that people write about, but I actually think it's really difficult. This particular one is more difficult to write about than past presidencies, and
Oh, I think it's going to be a flashpoint like 9/11.
yeah, just suddenly it'll
well,
be just
hope.
everywhere.
No, but I mean, it'll be like this moment that
Mhm.
affects all the writing about it, or all our where we'll know where we were when it happened, like that kind of Kennedy got shot,
I see.
9/11, like this cultural touch point kind of moment. Anyway, all right. Now we have a whole bunch of things to do. All right, so we got Bernadette's first, and Cassie's last, and Emma's a second, I think. Kathy Bell, were you second, or was Emma
Emma was-
second? Emma was second? All right, so, and yet I told Kathy, I told one of you guys we would get to you sooner rather than later. Do you care? Oh, Cassie, when you walked in. Cassie? Got it.
We can, mine can go anywhere, I don't care.
Do you wanna get it over with? You're okay? Yeah, you sure? Chill?
Feeling
We're just
chillin'.
been chill? Okay. All right, well then let's do it in order. All right, so Bernadette, what would you like to know?
So since they're small, I gave you guys two. I think the super short one, I think she thought it was my father. I feel like I specifically want to know about that. Like, does it make sense? Does the title make sense? The manatee one I'm really stuck on. I feel like it's like a shell of a story. I feel like it's missing a lot of meat, so I would love any input on that.
Okay. All right, somebody tell Bernadette something about either one of these stories, or both.
In the Manatee story, I had the timeline, I got a bit confused.
Okay.
Because to me the story is like, in the beginning she is looking at her ultrasound or something, and she's discovered that she is pregnant. Then she reminisces about Greg, who's perhaps her lover. So I was thinking that the baby is Greg's. And then you come that years later, Allison heard that he had gotten divorced, married one of his most promising students. And towards the end, she's on the examining table. So,
Gotcha. It's confusing.
yes.
So the pacing.
Yes.
Okay. All right, other comments on either of the stories?
But I love the analogy of the fetus with the manatee, and this thing that you described, them swimming in the water, and so it kind of it gives the background to the fact that she's pregnant now. So that is very beautiful. But I got confused here. The next day they returned home, she to her apartment, and Greg to his wife, and then years later he married. So why this thing happened after they had shared this beautiful
Right.
time, and they,
You're missing the connection.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Okay, and I love the images and I thought it was great, and I also didn't get exactly a timeline.
Okay.
But the other thing though, I actually even wondered if she was pregnant. Because at the or whether that was her work, or she was just imaging being pregnant, because when she, in the paragraph in here, when she talks about, long for baby, she closed her eyes and everything, but, then she imagined, cancer had killed her mother at age 50, and then, so I'm not sure if her who's having the first pregnancy age 45, whether that's Allison, or whether her mother was pregnant with Allison when her mother was 45, and so
Did anybody else trip up on who was 45 and pregnant?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. All right, okay, keep going.
well, just because it was in the same
I understand.
paragraph. I mean, I wasn't like, at first I thought it was definitely Allison,
Okay.
but then after I'm losing track of the timeline, then I got confused about maybe the her referred back to the mother, and so.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. All right. Other comments?
Oh, just one other thing, the
Mhm.
images were so great that I dreamt about the images.
Oh, the manatee and the baby, the
Yeah.
fetus.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought the imagery, it was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. Really.
In the water. It was-
I
it
think
was
if
amazing.
you just kind of sort out this para, which is I think fourth para, I think it would be amazing.
Uh-huh.
There's a little bit of confusion here on the fourth and fifth para. So if that thing is sorted out, it would, well, like Greg goes back and, years later, Addison hears that he's divorced.
Okay. Other thoughts on either of these stories?
Oh, the other story,
Oh, wait, well, let's finish. Well, if everybody's talking about Manatee, let's see if there's any other comments about Manatee, and we'll switch to the other story. How's that? Sorry, Kathy.
So about Manatee, the like everyone's saying, the language and imagery is just so beautiful. You do tag every time thing, so the braiding actually worked for me, but maybe just, I kind of feel like if you just took away any word that, or paragraph or phrase that wasn't doing heavy lifting, because I think it's all there, and I think maybe pairing it even a little tighter.
adding to
Yeah, because I feel like it's all here.
Okay.
So I don't know. That was just my first thought, because I thought it was amazing that you were able to braid several time frames and several stories in such an incredibly short amount of real estate. So I thought even taking that further to the limit might be fun to try.
Okay. Any other comments on Manatee? Okay, so I'll jump in on Manatee, and then Kathy, you can start on I Thought She Was My Father. I think that I really wanted to know how she got pregnant. I wanted some hint of what happened, because I kept thinking, oh, maybe she just because she said it was a miracle and she wasn't trying. So no. And I love the juxtaposition of the fetus versus the tumor. Love that so much. And beautiful poetic language in both of these. I mean, just really lovely images. I wasn't dreaming about them, but I could have been. I wanted a bit more from the manatee encounter to have it parallel with the baby, right? Because she has these beautiful moments where, like, the baby's got a big belly. Well, she doesn't have a big belly yet, and then there's crustaceans on the belly, but there aren't crustaceans on her belly. Like, I want something to happen there where she has this moment of connect. Like, I wonder if this is a woman who's not comfortable in her own physical body, where she feels like it's too big, because like a lot of women, like manatees are vegetarians, and yet they are not exactly svelte. And there's a lot of women who feel a connection there with this like somewhat unattractive sea mammal. It's not a whale, it's not a dolphin, it's not sleek. It just and it only eats vegetables. And I mean, this is and I wondered if she was feeling that if there was something to that, like why was it so important for her to. Was this her spirit animal on some level? And if it was, I wanted a little more from it, for me to understand that now she feels like a manatee, or she feels like she has a manatee inside her. That I just needed a little more there. And I think you're really close. I didn't get trapped on any of the timelines or the flipping and the going back and forth at all. But I just wanted a little bit more. I also like the I don't know if it really builds, and this might be what you're talking about with it's not too, the cardboard that keeps the homeless people warm versus the sheet that she's lying on and she's cold, the paper sheet, that juxtaposition, is that moving the story forward? It's great, but is it moving the story forward? I'm not sure. I mean, you've got such a small snippet. Now, it doesn't have to be this small. right? That's your choice.
Right.
And this is super small. I mean,
Yeah.
this is not 500 words, I don't
No, I
think. Yeah.
don't think it is.
So you could probably, you have a little bit more elbow
You
room
do.
if you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I think she was my father. Kathy, you had something you want to say about that one?
I just thought you were asking for the next one, which is what I spoke about.
So yeah, I understand.
Again, I mean, your images and your writing are wonderful. But this one seemed a little, perhaps a little too essay-like to me. And probably, I think I could use maybe one more paragraph between, and it doesn't have to be, I mean, I could use a little action or a little, and something between it's just you, oh, it's just you. I mean, it could possibly stop there. But then the next one, the smell, and I kind of needed something in there. I mean, essentially, this is the mother's died, and this is